Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, the loving audience, and all beautiful people present here from all around the globe. I, Ms. Nada Ratkovic, IIU board member, country director, IIU Croatia, president of Research Center, IIU. Welcome you all to the second International Conference on Climate Change, ICCC 2022 by the International Internship University with 100 countries, 150 speakers, and 1,000 participants in 5 days. The topic is science, solution, solidarity for a livable planet. And yes, the event for all educators around the globe organized by IIU. And the project manager, our great Vice Chancellor, Corina Sujdea from Romania, had the first international conference on climate change, ICC 2021. It was a grand success. And now, this year, our great project director uh, organized this new second ICC 2022. So, the most important challenge we face today is to stop climate change, and it is getting worse. Right here, right now, protecting planet starts always with you and with IAU so we can make our planet more sustainable. IAU recognize global call for solidarity, science, solutions for all. And yes, the ball is now in our court. So there is a lot we can and must do to make our world less energy consuming and more climate friendly. Let me today call our first guest, our first honorific guest, and she is a great Dr. Nidhi Bansal. She is an IIU board member and she is the editor of IIU magazine Revolution. Welcome, respected Dr. Nidhi Bansal. Enlighten us with your great speech.
Namaste from India to all our viewers, esteemed panelists, students, teachers, environmentalists, educationists, and all our reverend guests who would be watching the live telecast of this session. International Internship University, the first ever virtual university, has brought a revolutionary change in the field of education. Imparting knowledge and skill based education has always been their criteria and an effort to make it available to one and all, seeping deep into grassroots levels of the society. There has been a major breakthrough in the ways of imparting knowledge. And one such example we witnessed today, where we take up an issue and discuss it on a global platform, talking about its pros and cons and an effort to bring in awareness and also an effort to come out with a solution. Thank you, IIU, and the entire team for giving me a chance to speak my mind. As we talk about climate and its changes, the way it is changing, and the effects that it is having globally, I would like to put my words. Climate change is one of the most critical global challenges of our times. Recent events have emphatically demonstrated our growing vulnerability to climate change. Climate change impacts with range from affecting agriculture, further endangering food security, to sea level rise and the accelerated erosion of coastal zones, increasing the intensity of natural disasters, species extinction, and the spread of vector borne diseases. The action plan outlines a number of steps to simultaneously advance India's development and climate change related objectives. Today, as I belong to India, of course, I am a citizen of India. I would like to just reflect few points which we are facing right now in India, and of course, we would like to also have a solution from you, and we get to know more about what climatic challenges we are facing here. And the National Action Plan on Climate Change, NAPCC, encompasses a range of measures. It focuses on 8 missions, which are, I like to put them forth in front of all of you. National Solar Mission, the NAPCC, aims to promote the development and use of solar energy for power generation and other uses, with the ultimate objective of making solar competitive with fossil based energy options. It also includes the establishment of a solar research center, increased international collaboration on technology development, strengthening of domestic manufacturing capacity, and increased government funding and international support. The NAPCC recommends mandating specific energy consumption, decreases in large energy consuming industries, with a system for companies to trade energy saving certificates, financing for public private partnerships to reduce energy consumption through demand side management programs in the municipal, buildings, and agricultural sectors, and energy incentives, including reduced taxes on energy efficient appliances. The NAPCC has also come up with National Mission of Sustainable Habitat. It aims at promoting energy efficiency as a core component of urban planning by extending the existing energy conservation building code, strengthening the enforcement of automotive fuel economy standards, and using pricing measures to encourage the purchase of efficient vehicles and incentives for the use of public transportation. The NAPCC also emphasizes on waste management and recycling. National Water Mission, the improvement in water use efficiency through pricing and other measures to deal with water scarcity as a result of climate change. National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. This particular mission sets the goal to prevent melting of the Himalayan glaciers and to protect biodiversity in the Himalayan region. Green India Mission. The NAPCC also aims at afforestation of 6 million hectares of degraded forest lands and expanding forest cover from 23 to 33% of India's territory. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. The NAPCC aims to promote climatic adaptation in agriculture through the development of climate resilient crops, expansion of weather insurance mechanisms, and agricultural practices. To gain a better understanding of climatic science, impacts, and challenges, the plan envisions a new climatic science research fund, improved climate modeling, and increased international collaboration. It also encourages private sector initiatives to develop adaptation and mitigation technologies through venture capital funds. The NAPCC also describes other ongoing initiatives that are as follows: power generation. The government is mandating the retirement of inefficient coal fired power plants and supporting the research and development of integrated gasification combined cycle, that is IGCC, and supercritical technologies. Renewable energy under the Electricity Act 2003 and the National Tariff Policy 2006, the central and the state electricity regulatory commissions must purchase a certain percentage of grid based power from renewable resources. Energy efficiency under the Energy Conservation Act of 2001, large energy consuming industries are required to undertake energy audits and an energy labeling program for appliances that have been introduced. Proposals for health sector. The proposed program comprises 2 main components, namely provision of enhanced public healthcare services and the assessment of increased burden of diseases due to climate change. The implementation, ministries will lead responsibility for each of the missions are directed to develop objectives, implementation strategies, timelines, and monitoring and evaluation criteria to be submitted to the Prime Minister's Council of Climate Change. The Council will also be responsible for periodically reviewing and reporting on each mission's progress. To be able to quantify progress, appropriate indicators and methodologies will be developed to assess both avoided emissions and adapted benefits. Now, we have different opinions about the NAPCC. We have Sunita Narayan, Director of Center for Science and Environment, in an editorial in Down Earth, mentioned that the plan asserts that India can grow differently because it is at an early stage of development. In other words, it can leapfrog to a low carbon economy using high end and emerging technologies and by being different. Also, it prioritizes national action by setting out 8 missions ranging from solar to the climate research, which will be detailed and then monitored by the Prime Minister's Council for Climate Change. But the plan is weak on how India sees the rest of the world in this extraordinary crisis. Climate change is a global challenge. We did not create it until date. We contribute little to global emissions. We are, in fact, climate victims. As per another, we can say, water expert, Sudhindradar Sharma, the director of Delhi-based Ecological Foundation, the plan report is compilation of listless ideas that lack depth, vision, and urgency, putting economy development ahead of emission reduction targets. The report makes a case for the right of emerging economies to pursue development and growth to elevate poverty. Rahul Goswami, an independent journalist and researcher based in Goa, in his article stated that instead of having a strongly articulated, clearly thought through vision, the NAPCC has a basket of 8 missions, and we are definitely going to be a part of it and going to follow it. Climate change is not population control, not poverty, not rural unemployment. It needs to learn differently from the experiences of contemporary India. Greenpeace regarded the focus on solar energy as the highlight of the plan. The solar and renewable programs show foresight in energy planning and an intention to capitalize on the country's potential for solar energy, said the organization. But Greenpeace, in a press release, also mentioned that on the energy efficiency front, the plan is both a little unambitious, but we are definitely working on it. WFF feels that the National Action Plan is fairly comprehensive in its coverage and has cross sectoral links through the 8 national level missions. And now to conclude, it is now clear that the initiatives to prevent climate change are started. But most importantly, these initiatives must be continuous and sustainable, and every individual of the country will need to contribute to prevent climate change. By releasing the NAPCC, the government has shown India's commitment to address climate change issues and also sent a positive message to the entire world, the industries, and the civil society about the government's concern to address the climate change issue through concerned actions. Issues related to the awareness relating to global warming and climate change among the general population and the issue related to agriculture and health hazards due to climate change must be addressed strongly and effectively. And that was my time. I hope we could all relate to it and resonate and work together to build a better climatic conditions for all our generations to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Big clap to our great Dr. Nizki. Thank you. Thank you for your speech. Thank you for talking about this problem on the global level, this problem in your country, India. Thank you very much. Our planet, our future, yes, science, solutions, solidarity for a livable planet. We have many reasons why renewable energy is our answer to a healthy, livable planet. I hear some voices. Please mute yourself, please. Please be muted. What to say? Yesterday we said that COVID pandemic has held the center of the global expanding ways. If we talk about the science, sorting the science, if we ask the science, we know what is happening. Me, like a scientist, researcher, academician, knows that every year I can say that there are important scientific body called IPCC, and it is a report, it is a panel on the climate changes. And you know, the world's most influential and respected climate science are contributing to this big problem. And many scientific papers, I can say on thousands papers, are updated to this world problem. So changing with the climate, whether we like that or not, climate change is part of our lives. And solidarity, the COVID-19 diseases, the deaths, early 2020, the most challenging crisis we have faced, we can say, since the Second World War. And the science, we have leaders who are following this problem, who are trying to solve this problem. What about the solutions? The solutions, the crisis always show what are the best solutions, and we are requiring all about the science, all about the society, and that approach. And the leaders are here, and here on this great IIU platform. Yesterday we witnessed it, great speeches of our speakers, guests of honors, and we get a lot of solutions. And what was the amazing part and the best part of the first day? Our great students, our great youth. IIU is working in each 1 second for the students, for the youth, because our founder, Sir Piyush Pandit, is wanted, is giving and bringing a revolution in education, taking and giving education in each part, in each corner of this world. So it is, I'm pleased and honored to say a few words about our organizer. Yes, we yesterday present our organizers, but we need to repeat that because IIU is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, most valuable and trusted worldwide and well-reputed deliberately innovative programs, trusted name for quality training programs, metamorphosing the conventional education system, yes, and cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses, internships to the e-learners across the globe, and we have more than 1,000 plus global educators. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries, 6 continents, under the strong leadership of its visionary founder. Our visionary founder is an inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist, and he is Mr. Piyush Pandit, sir. And our words are not sufficient to express our gratitude to him. IIU has formed his 4 councils: Women Entrepreneur Council, Student Development Council, Youth Development Council, Council of Educators. And the main objective is to provide support in every respect to the student, to the youth, to the women entrepreneurs, to the educators, to the science, to the researchers. And we are coming every day with new events, training sessions, projects, and all. So be the change with IIU. Now, it's my honor to introduce the master of this conference. Today, I'm not alone. Today, I have a great moderator of day 2. She is Miss Nebahat Chankreli. Miss Nebahat Chankreli is coming from Turkey. She's an English language teacher and Erasmus Projects Coordinator, e-training project coordinator at Guluk Ibrahim Izermel Lisa in Turkey. She has a great experience, a big experience in teaching for 23 years. And she's attending many programs here in IIU. I can say almost she's each one day with us. She attended Let's Plant the Earth project. She attended the ICP project. Also, she's a member of IIU Women Entrepreneur Council. She's now involved in the IIU biggest exchange program. She's awarded as a Global Educator Award. So I want to call my great moderator to join me today. And yes, we will start with our second day of the ICC 2022. We want to thanks again to our great project director, our vice chancellor, Miss Corina Sujdea, for this great project. Let's start.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank wholeheartedly to IIU to give me this opportunity to moderate an event, an important event. I wholeheartedly thank all of you and your my colleagues. I am a little bit a little bit confused, and I will start with our first speaker. Yes, Professor Dr. Huma Shah, I think. Huh? Am I wrong?
Yes, yes, yes. Our great Professor Dr. Huma Shah. And please, audience here on Zoom, I want first a big, big wish for the birthday because our great Dr. Professor Huma Shah is celebrating today the birthday. So please. Yes.
Happy birthday, ma'am.
Oh, in one voice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Professor Dr. Huma. Happy birthday to you. Yes.
Okay,
Welcome.
you people. Thank you. Thank you so much, dear Nada. And I think today you people are going to take me at emotional stage, but I'm not going to get emotional because today we are celebrating second day of the wonderful conference. First of all, thank you so very much for wishing me. My respected dear Nidhi ji, I'm very happy to see you over here again. And most of my friends and colleagues, dear Inga, and everyone is here. Thank you so very much for your warm wishes. And yes, without wasting a single time, we are going to start. I'm going to start my presentation, which is mainly on climate change. Our topic is climate change. And today I'm going to discuss the most important disasters, the most important deficit, what we have recently faced in my country. So now here is the point to discuss the most important topic, the most important point over here. Now, let's start. I'm going to start with that the climate change is the single biggest health threat facing humanity. Climate impacts are already harming health through air pollution, disease, extreme weather events, poor displacement, pressures on mental health, and increased hunger and poor nutrition in places where we cannot grow or find the sufficient food. Every year, environmental factors take the lives of around 13 million people. Yes, 13 million people every year. And changing weather patterns are expanding diseases, and extreme weather events increase, obviously, deaths and make it difficult for the healthcare systems to keep up. Now I'm going to discuss some of the most important points in Pakistan. I totally agree with Dr. Nidhi, what she has said just earlier regarding the climate change. I was truly agreeing with her conditions. Climate changes are expected to have the wide-ranging impacts, such as reduce agriculture productivity, increase variability of water availability, and increase coastal erosion and seawater intrusion as well. And yes, increased frequency of extreme climatic events. And unfortunately, I'm going to tell you, and now it's very much important that I have to highlight the problem, the recent global climate problem of my country in front of the globe, that recently my country faced the major and historical effects of global warming in the way of heavy flood. You can say as a historical flood, in which I just take it out some of the points so that you can get to know that how much global warming we are facing and how we are suffering just because of this climate change and a poor environmental condition and management. Like we have faced 1,191 people deaths and 48 lakhs, 48 million people who are now displaced from their home. 30 million people are affected only just because of this flooding. 33 million people of Pakistanis have been affected. And 80 lakhs and 90,000 kilometer area is now completely damaged in our country. And when we are talking about the property damage, so it's total about 10 billion dollars. $10 billion we have faced the total property damage. Oh God. The floods have killed nearly 1,000 people across Pakistan since. It's not just only related to Pakistan, obviously, but I am highlighting Pakistan because it's just a recent deficit what we are facing right now. While thousands have been displaced and millions more affected. And yes, I would like to share with you that according to the BBC Climate Asia report, the majority of Pakistani people survived claimed that climate change has heavily impacted their lives in a form of floods. And most importantly, has affected the availability of resources, especially I'm talking about energy and water. Yes, we don't have energy, we don't have enough water to survive in a country. And almost 53% of Pakistanis, yes, 53% of Pakistanis felt their lives had become worse off than they, you can say, were 5 years ago. Now, after discussing these all things, we need to understand and we need to think not only at the initial level, but on the government level as well, on the universal level as well. That when we go through this sort of thing, that if we don't have a good management, if we don't have a good government level, so this will go towards the 0% survival rate. And to concluding, in my perspective, we are in danger of destroying ourselves. Yes, we are in a danger of destroying ourselves by only of our greed and stupidity. Just try to look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better and everything clear. Climate is just a gift from God, but the climate change is already impacting the human life. And changing in weather and climate patterns can put the lives at risk, high risk. And yes, heat is one of the most deadly weather phenomena. Like Europe, what the Europe is facing, the world worst heatest days Europe has been faced. And in its history of Europe. But we need to understand, yes, we need to understand that heaven is under our feet, and as well as over our heads. The heaven is under our feet and over our heads. It's just to the thing to point out, to understand, and to listen. I hope that I have delivered the best of I can. And thank you so much for listening me so patiently. And thank you so very much for wishing me all the best. Thank you, dear Nada. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Great,
you.
Professor Dr. Huma. Wonderful speech, very enriching, excellent,
It was
descriptive,
very impactfully put.
insightful. So amazing, amazing. So many facts, statistics, and reality you gave us, and you talk about the situation in your country, what is happening on the global level, what we need to do. The numbers are really very, very, very. I can said it is very sad to hear that. It is sad to hear that, but we are here. We are working on that. And I can say, yes, thank you, God, for being there, to doing this, and we can prevent this. My great Nebahat, what you say on the speech of great Professor Dr. Huma? Please give your comment.
Yes, everything she told us is true, and even in my country, everything goes bad. I will be, I missed the speaker on the 10th September, and I will tell a lot of things about climate change in my country. Yes, but unfortunately, yes, everything goes bad day by day, I think. We should do something. We should take the challenge and educate future generations, I think.
Yes,
We can
yes,
say like that.
yes, I totally agree. So it's time to move forward. We have from Pakistan, we are going to Europe. Our next guest of honor and our next speaker is Professor Melissa Esposito from Italy. Welcome, welcome, dear
Hello.
Professor Melissa.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So please respect the speakers. We know that we have today a lot of speakers, so please take care about the time also.
Okay. It's a great honor to be here and to speak to you about climate change. My topic is when will climate change become irreversible? If I had to give the short answer, I would say that climate change is already irreversible in the sense that the planet's temperature has already risen due to human action, and climate change is already underway. More precisely, we know that from the pre-industrial era to today, so in the last 200 years or so, the planet's temperature has risen by 1.1 centigrade. Think if instead of walking around with a body temperature of about 36.5 centigrades, you had to go to work or school with a stable body temperature of 37.6 centigrades. It will be quite tiring. You would be in trouble, just as the planet is already in trouble today. The studies that have been made by the latest report of the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Group on Climate Change, clearly tell us that if man had not inhabited the planet in the last couple of centuries, the temperature of the planet would have risen by 0.02 centigrades. Cognitive bias. Our senses are unable to perceive the microscopic increases in temperature that accumulate year after year. Climate change is an off-scale phenomenon for our cognitive system, and for this reason, many still say, but where is the climate change? I do not see it. In denying climate change, we perfectly embody the principle of the boiled frog, according to which a frog swims freely in a pot under which a small small fire is lit, which gradually eats the water, but does so too slowly for the frog to notice. The frog will continue to think that everything is fine because it will not grasp the temperature difference until the pot starts to boil and frog is boiled. If we do not want to end up like the poor frog, we must not rely exclusively on our senses. We must widen our gaze and wear the lenses on science, which investigates the causes and effects of natural phenomena. Some of these effects are already irreversible, such as the melting of the ice, the rise in the sea levels, the acidification of the oceans. Once these processes have started, they cannot be stopped by simply pulling the handbrake. We have already triggered these processes. They are already irreversible. What is still in our power is to try to contain the gravity of these phenomena, and this depends on what we will be able to do in the coming years in terms of reducing emissions and therefore reducing the planet's temperature. Cause. As you know, the cause of global warming are emissions of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is the main but not the only responsible for the greenhouse effect. It is present in very small percentages in the atmosphere, but since this molecule is able to retain the heat of solar radiation, this is in particular in the last years of our industrial activities, domestic heating, the transport system, the agricultural system, and all the other productive activities of our consumer society have emitted the equivalent of about 45 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Effect already caused. It may be two heat waves, such as the one that hit India a few months ago, which caused damage to agriculture and other production systems. But it can also be throughout more abundant rainfall or real tropic storms, which equally cause damage to agriculture and other systems. You understand well that, that extreme drought and extreme rains, they are two apparently opposite phenomena, but in reality, they are two sides of the same coin. That is the greater amount of it in the atmosphere. Climate change has already reduced economic growth in Africa from the 60s to the present, and has already increased income inequalities in African countries and northern countries in temperate climates, and has already forced a million people to migrate from their places of origin in Africa, Asia, and other parts of the world. Africa is one of the areas most affected by climate change, for example, even if it is responsible for only 3% of the emissions produced in the last 3 centuries. Climate change is also a question of social justice, of climate justice. In the tropics, for example, entire species are disappearing, while further north entire biomes are slowly moving in search of cooler temperatures. I could tell you about the animal and plant species that have already been hit hard by fires or by rising sea levels. The Amazon rainforest is a dramatic close to a point of no return because it is no longer able to regenerate itself due to the growing droughts. What to do? What should we do to make the consequences of climate change less severe? Scientists believe that to keep global warming below 1.5 centimeters, global emissions must peak before 2025. Then we would have 5 years to reduce emissions by 43% by 2030, compared to 2005 levels. We should reduce them by 25% to stay below 2 centimeters. However, Europe, for example, has set itself as an even more ambitious goal to reduce them by 55% by 2030. We have all the technology and knowledge to do it. What is missing is the political will to take a decisive step in this direction. The commitments made so far, instead of decreasing emissions, will lead to a 14% increase in emissions. The major emitters are not even putting into practice the commitments made to keep their already inadequate promises. So said Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, spoke these words on the occasion of the presentation of the latest IPCC report. And with his words, I would like to conclude my speech. We are traveling at type speed toward a real climate disaster. It is what science tells us will result from current energy policies. Climate activists are sometimes presented as dangerous radicals, but the real dangerous radicals are those who are increasing emissions. We need to triple the speed of the transition to renewable energy. This means shifting investment from fossil fuels to renewables now. In many cases, renewables are the cheapest solution. Governments must support emerging economies in this transition. Guterres' words do not sound at all different to me from those repeated several times by young climate activists. Perhaps it is the case that we listen a little more carefully to what these boys and girls have to say us. My speech is ended. I want to thank you all for listening to me. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. It was
Thank
a
you.
good
Thank you,
presentation. Thank you.
Melissa. So let's give our comment on the speech of our great Melissa. She explained us when will climate change become irreversible. And I almost like an economic, how impact it has on the economic growth. She said us that and show what is happening and what is happening in Africa, how the climate change are reducing the growth in Africa, what happened from 1960, what is going to do and how it will take a place in Asia and in other parts of the world. And yes, Africa is one only area which is most today affected by the climate change. And as Melissa said, 3% of the emissions produced on the last 3 centuries are here. So that is a question, a big question. And that is why we are here on this conference on the day 2 of ICC 2022. We want to get the answers on the question of a social justice, of a climate justice. That is for us really important. We need that answer. So, Melissa, thank you for showing us what to do and what should we do to make this consequences of climate change less severe. Thank you. And yes, we science all believe that this will keep global warming below 1.5 degrees of the global emissions, which will be peaked by 2025. Thank you.
Thank you again.
My great moderator, what you say on the speech of Professor Melissa, please.
It was very effective. I wholeheartedly thank you, Melissa. Yes, it was very excellent. Yes, thank you.
Great. So let's go. We are moving to our next speaker. Please, Nubaret, call our next keynote speaker. Our next great speaker is not alone today. He has a big surprise for us on the second day. He has a great, as he is great in this field and doing a lot, his whole family is doing the same. So he has also a beautiful daughter. and she will here today say and give her solutions about the climate changes. Welcome, respected Professor Az-Eddin Lakim from Morocco. The IIU stage is yours.
It's a great opportunity to take part in this great webinar today. She's well prepared and well moderated too. Thank you, Dr. Nada Radkovic. Thank you, Payush Pandit. And thank you, Corina Sujdiya, for preparing for this great webinar. I'd like you to give me the floor to share my screen.
Yes, you can share. Each one can share. You have a
Good
permission.
morning, good afternoon, and good evening from my side. This is your very own Professor Dr. Humash. Now, why I'm making this video is just only because to give my heartfelt gratitude, lots of love, lots of praises, lots of wishes
Dr.
to
Nada
my
Radkovic.
very own beautiful friend, dear Supriya from.
Yes, Professor Dr. Huma come involved in our show. I muted Professor Dr. Huma, and please, Professor Azedim, unmute yourself. Can you? Okay, just a moment. I need.
Yes.
Great, great. Please continue. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nada. I'll share my screen. Is it okay? Can you see my screen now?
It's coming, not yet. It's coming.
Okay. So my participation today is about climate change.
We see the screen, but not yet the full screen. If you can put the full screen.
Yes, it's full. My screen is full now.
No, it isn't, but if you can't, no problem.
Yes, it's full, I think. Can you see it now? No, not yet.
Professor, please continue. It's not full, but we can see it. If you can't, it's okay. No problem. I think you have a bad network, so that is the problem.
Okay, okay.
Please, no problem, no problem. Continue, please. I think that we lost our professor because it was showing whole time the bad network. So let's see, will he?
Ibrahim Ahmed is, I think.
Will he join us for a minute? Will he join us? Let's see. I hope he will, but we can continue. We can continue. Here he is. He come back. Professor, unmute yourself, please. Do you hear us? Professor.
Okay, now I'm unmuted now. Can continue.
Oh, listen, please, please. Yes. I know you make a great presentation, but I'm where again we will lose you because you have a bad network to share it. Okay, great. Now, great.
I'll continue. Maybe a problem of connection, but it's out of my control. Sorry about that. Let me continue.
Yes.
So my contribution today is about climate change, and we are going to see the causes. This is my outline. It's about definition of climate change. Then I move to causes of climate change. Then I speak about effects of climate change. as well as possible solutions. Concerning the definition of climate change, it refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as through variations in the solar cycle, but for the few last centuries, human action has been the main reason behind this plague, primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Concerning the causes of climate change,
Again, the same problem. Again, Professor Azin, let's try later. Let's try
yes,
later.
yes,
Please listen, let's try later. Maybe the network will be good. Or please, you know what will be the best? Maybe you can speak without the presentation. Please.
yes,
Okay. Try without the presentation.
yes, of course. So there are 5 of climate change. Number 1, generating power. Generating electricity is a cause of global emissions. And then you have manufacturing goods. The industry today produces a lot of emissions, mostly from burning fossil fuels to produce energy for making things. And also we have the cutting down of forests, which is great cause of this plague. And then the use of transportation, it contributes a lot to this carbon dioxide emissions. And then we have consumption, great deal of consumption of goods such as clothing, electronics, and plastics contribute large chunk of global greenhouse gas emissions. And our lifestyles have a profound impact on our planet. And of course, the wealthy bear the greatest responsibility about this. As you said earlier, you mentioned that Africa is the most endangered continent concerning this climate change. And now we are going to speak about some of the effects of climate change. Concerning the effects of these climate changes.
Professor Azedin.
Yes, can you hear me?
We don't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I can hear you. I can hear you, Dr. Nada.
Yes, and I can't hear you.
Shall I continue?
Continue, please.
Yes, sorry for this interruption. It's out of my control. As you know, here some of the effects of climate change are related to...
But we don't see nothing. We don't see nothing. Please, can you talk without presentation, dear Professor Azedin? Please, we don't see nothing.
Oh,
Stop
so
sharing,
there are...
stop sharing and talk with us. Now it's okay.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay, so today we have a lot of consequences of climate change. The temperature on the Earth is very high. There are more storms today, more droughts, and floods, which is endangering the lives of the people everywhere. And also we have a rise
It's okay. Now I think that we lost Professor. We will continue later if he got a better connection. Really sorry because our great Professor Azadin is working a lot in this field. He's giving his contribution. He's working with his students, his daughter, and I can say a lot of work in this field. Professor Azdin, it was really great. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't have enough connection to deal with you.
No problem.
Sorry about this problem.
No
I'm sorry about
problem.
this problem.
No problem. We know.
I'd like to talk to you about the experience of Morocco in this domain of facing this world plague, which is climate change. Morocco is leading in renewable energies, maybe in Africa and maybe all over the world. We are having plants.
With all my heart, I would wish that our great Professor Azdin could make the speech from the beginning to the end, but we see almost trying. He can't speak, we can't see, we can't make a correlation. So please, Professor Azdin, we will try again a little later. We will give you opportunity to finish this, but now we will continue with our next speaker. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is it okay, Professor Azdin? We will try again at the end, please. Okay, let's move forward. Let's move forward. We have our
Yes,
next,
Nicoletta. Yes.
yes, we have our next speaker. So please, dear Nazban, please introduce our next eminent case speaker.
Yes, our next speaker is Nicoletta Stoic from Romania. Am I wrong? Yes. Yes.
Welcome. Welcome, Professor Nicoletta Stoic from Romania. Our great Professor Nicoletta was already known here at IIU. She was having a great training session. I will never forget, and my suggestion is also please watch it, like it, and share it. So welcome.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I will just talk for the first time, and then I want to show you some pictures that we already done for climate change. I want to thank you, Nada, and everyone, and my colleague from Romania, and also Peyush Pandit from this wonderful IIU University for this wonderful opportunity. And I want to tell you all that you are a great team, and I want to share with you my little piece of experience. I'm a kindergarten teacher from Romania, e-twinning and Erasmus Plus ambassador for my country. And today I will talk to you about our activities regarding the importance of climate change, what we already done to implement to the children the importance of stop reducing the consumption and everything regarding this. I was a coordinator of a Key Action 2 Erasmus Plus project about sustainability on early childhood education and care. And this Erasmus Plus was a wonderful opportunity to develop a founded project by European Union. And we were very lucky and for this opportunity because we learned a lot about sustainability. As example for this sustainability for us is a bridge supported by 4 pillars. society, culture, economy, and ecology. And especially for preschoolers, these pillars call ecology, because using this, we teach the little children to know to reuse the paper and other material in order to reduce the cost for toys. As example, to reduce the consumption of water, to keep the rivers clean, not to throw garbage into different rivers or water. And the children learn a lot doing these things with the recycled material, planting trees. Each year we planted a lot of trees, because from the little age, children remember and also talk a lot at home, and they say to the big one that we have to keep the nature clean and to help the nature and build a better life for the nature and for us. We had as partners a lot of countries as Iceland, Spain, Lithuania, and when they were in Romania, we planted each other tree, and it's from 3 years ago, and now they are growing, and we keep save them. We made a lot of toys from recycled materials because we want the parents not to buy too many toys that are not good for too many time. We realize a lot of notes, keep the nature clean, save the planet, reduce the consumption of the water, turn off the light on the day. When you wash your hand or your teeth, you have to stop the water at the right time. We made cards from recycled materials, and we offer them to the old people and also for the children with disabilities, because we want to stop this effect of climate change. And also, in order to promote a better life for a better planet, for helping the climate change and to be stopped, we try to eat healthy food, fruit and vegetable, not too much sweets, and try to have a better life and teach the children that we have to be involved in this. I will try to share my screen, and I want to ask you if it's okay if you can see this. Can you see it?
Not yet. Now, yes. Please take respect about the time.
Yes, I will just show you some picture, and it's
Okay.
almost
Okay.
finished.
Thank you. Thank you.
Climate change, Erasmus, e-twinning, and sustainability. And here in the picture, you will see that we like to play in the nature. We use recycled material to play. We make a lot of things with all the things that we can. We try to make cards for the old and for the children, and not to buy too many things. We reuse the old batteries and give them to be recycled. We learn a lot, and children talk at home. Here is the activity with the planted trees 3 years ago and now, because children remember and they always talk to their parents. We have to know that if we can, you can keep the planet clean. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, respected Professor Nicolette. Thank you for showing us your work, your great projects with your students. We like it. We know and we see how to educate, how to encourage our students to think, to act, to work, to do, and to be very active in this. You know, here at IIU, we have so lot of projects which are preventing the climate, you know, planting the trees.
Yes,
Planting
I have attended
trees.
that project. Yes.
It is an amazing project, and it is continuing. Many new projects are coming, and not that you know how much on global level IIU is investing for the environment. You see, not only education, all fields, environment, everything what is necessary today to protect our students, our youth, our environment, everything. Thank you for being our eminent speaker from Romania. Yes, from Europe. IIU Europe. I want to welcome today because here on the platform, our core member, Dr. Nidhi, you meet her, but here with us, we have our Ermina, great Ermina, our Dr. Inga, the IIU head of Europe. So great work is going on. Now, my dear moderator, the
Yes, our
ceremony, please
Mhm.
call our next
yes,
speaker.
our next speaker is Ms. Magda Lopez Flores from Colombia.
Hello,
Yes.
I'm here.
Hi.
Nice to see you. It's a
Beautiful
pleasure for me to
smile.
be here.
Beautiful lady. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful country. Everything beautiful.
Yes, thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you. May I share my screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm gonna make this presentation. So it's a pleasure for me to be here and to share with you this presentation. I'm going to talk about climate change in Colombia. So I would like to introduce you myself. My name is Liz Magda Lopez Flores. I'm an English teacher at El Castillo School in Barranca Bermeja, Colombia. But first of all, I would like to introduce you to my country, my beautiful country, because it's really, really beautiful. Well, I would like to say that Colombia is the fourth largest country of South America. And it is the only country with access to the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea coast. There are great geographical variations across the country, from the Andes Mountains to the Amazon rainforest. So we have a lot of variety of landscapes, from valleys, rivers, lakes, etc. These locations makes Colombia the most biodiverse country on the planet. I don't know if you know that information about Colombia.
Great, amazing. We want you to invite us to Colombia.
Yes, you are invited. Yes, you are invited to visit Colombia. So our nation has truly remarkable endemic wildlife, such as the Amazon River dolphin, that is this dolphin, the Orinoco crocodile, the jaguar, the capybara, that is this small animal, this mammal, the poison dart frog.
Respect, we don't see, if you are moving the slides, we don't see that. We see only your first slide.
So
please, can you try to share your
okay, screen? I'm gonna move the presentation.
Yes.
Let me share again. Sorry.
No problem. Yes.
Let me share again. Well, I'm gonna leave this presentation. Yes. Yes,
Amazon,
okay.
River Amazon. How is
yes.
How
we have the Amazon jungle.
Great.
Yeah, here in Colombia. So
let's see.
Is
now.
better? Like this way?
It is not a full screen. Can you press F5, please? If maybe it will work. F5.
I prefer in this way.
Okay, no problem. But at the beginning, it wasn't moving. The slides were not moving.
Yeah. So I was talking about the endemic wildlife that we have here in Colombia. So we have the Amazon River dolphin, that is this dolphin that is here. We have also the Orinoco crocodile, the jaguar, the capybara, that is this small mammal that is endemic from Colombia. The poison dart frog, the giant amphitheater, the humpback whales, the manatee, that is this beautiful animal, the condors, and the spectacle bird. However, they are now considered endangered species because of climate change. They are suffering from this phenomenon in Colombia. So how does climate change affect my country? Colombia are facing high and increasing vulnerability to climate change. Moreover, Colombia shows a high recurrence of natural disasters related to changing climatic conditions such as floods, droughts, hurricanes, forest fires, and landslides, among others. These situations generate impacts that affect the quality of life of the citizens, especially in rural areas in marginal and excluded populations, which may increase the internal displacement and migration. We have a political situation that is a word by, we have spent like 50 years in a political situation. And now with the climate change, it is affecting more the displacement of people and the migration of people from different areas. So in the pictures, I want to show you that difficult situation and natural disasters that we are facing in Colombia, especially in rural areas like this, in this picture, or the burning of the forest in the Amazon jungle, or droughts in some coastal regions and floods. All of this is because the greenhouse gas emissions have been increased in the past 2 decades, which are caused mainly by an increase in livestock, deforestation, and the use of fertilizers, because we still have the problems with drugs. So, that problem, they use fertilizers in the land to produce drugs. So I'm so sorry to say that, but it's our reality. But not everything is bad, because we are implementing some alternatives to mitigate that climate change. So we have a new government in this moment, and Colombia has a robust climate policy in place that it ratified the Paris Agreement, and they committed to a 20% reduction in emissions by 2030. We have at the Ministry of Environment, the IDEAN, and the National Unit for Risks and Disaster Management, which are public institutions recognized for their work and the different strategies and programs on climate change. Also, the civil society. We are, as Colombians, being involved in diverse strategies, and we have applied different mitigation practices. So we also have decreased energy and water consumption, and we have made improvement to waste management, recycling, and other practices. As I told you before at the beginning of this presentation, I'm an English teacher at El Castillo School, which is located in Barranca Bermeja. Barranca Bermeja is a small city in Colombia. And in my school, we have understood that is necessary an integration between the scientific knowledge and activities that are processes and performed by the school population to control or mitigate climate change. For example, in my school, we have developed diverse strategies, such as research projects, campaigns, and interventions in the community. We have developed projects such as the Opportunity Shop, Science to the Park, in which we involve the community in that process. No disposable plastic cups at school. We don't use disposable plastic cups in our school. And another campaign, there is no papers on the floor. So our students are aware that they must have a clean environment. Well, to finish, I would like to say that this quotation from the Dalai Lama is very significant for me, that it is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to the world in which we all live, but not only to preserve, but to teach how to preserve that world which we are living. So thank you so much, and I hope that you have enjoyed my presentation. If you have any question, go ahead, you can ask me. Thank you.
Great, great. Liz Magda, great. As you show us the situation in your Colombia, you return me back in the history to the 92 years and the Spanish people and Christopher Columbus who discovered your land.
Yes.
Yes, Colombia is having the
Colombia.
Yes, see, Christopher Columbus love your country and first discover your country in America. Great,
Yes, that's
amazing.
the name.
Yes,
That's our name,
it is
Colombia,
really,
because of Christopher Columbus. Yeah.
yes, it is really, really fascinated. This all connections with the history. Yes, we see the problem. We see the problem with the climate changes in your country. What disasters are happening? And yes, as you say, unfortunately, the big problem also with the drugs. That is a reality that is known on the global level. So I'm happy because Colombia have great educators like you, especially like because you are an English teacher and we can communicate and we can do a lot of projects together and make actions Colombia and IIU. Thank you. My great
you.
dear co-master of ceremony, do you like Colombia? Nebahat, do you
I
like?
haven't ever visited it, but I wish I had.
Oh, yes, yes.
I have visited many European countries, but it's my dream. I hope one day I will have the opportunity to visit Colombia. I hope.
Very invited, very invited.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you on your great speech, on your great presentation. And we hope that we will see you very soon again. Now we are moving forward. We are going from, you see, Indonesia, Europe, Italy, Colombia. Now we are coming to a beautiful land of India.
Yes.
Yes, please call our next eminent guest speaker.
Yes. Dr. Arshit Bavsar. Am I
Welcome.
wrong? Is my
Yes,
pronunciation wrong? I'm very sorry about it if it is wrong. Yes.
yes,
This is Dr. Arshit Bavsar.
yes.
Welcome, welcome, Dr. Karshit.
Welcome.
Enlighten us with your speech.
Yes, can I share my screen?
Of course, you are welcome. Dr.
Should be
Harshit.
visible?
Yes, it is not. It is great. It is great. You can continue.
Yes, yes. Myself, Dr. Arshit Bhavsar. Basically, I am working in engineering education. Okay. So apart from my core subject, mechanical engineering. Okay. So apart from mechanical engineering, I try to motivate my students to go for the various kinds of project which are helpful for the climate support. Okay, so basically the students under my guidance are going to the different area. Okay, and they are trying to make a survey how much amount of pollution is there in particular area, and then they try to suggest some solution for this, how they can reduce that climate change pollution in that particular area. So these are the small tasks has been taken by my students. Okay, so this is my contributions toward the climate support. And apart my today's speech, I will try to move with the causes of the climate change. Why climate change happens? We all know that climate has been changing, but what we do to support that climate? We are not going to save that climate also. Always we wait for others. When someone else try to give something, then we'll try to give support to that person. But not we are taking the initiative for ourselves. Okay, so I must say to everyone that we have to motivate ourselves to save our environment. Okay, so the reason of the climate change happening is the first one is greenhouse gases. So many greenhouse gases has been generated from the industry, from the burning of the woods and other plastic material fuels are there. So how we can manage with it? We are doing so many industrial activity. We are doing the human activities are there. The industrial revolution has been developed. So we are getting the so many waste thing, and that waste thing are going toward the environment, and it will be supporting increase in the environment. Now moving to the one another big issue, when the temperature change 1 or 2 degree, we are not very much take seriously this. Okay, but if the temperature of our body change 1 or 2 degree, then it is very serious matter for us, because if the temperature of the body changes 1 or 2 degree, then we are getting sick. Then think that the temperature of the earth is going to change 5 degree or 10 degree every time, each and every year. So maybe the earth is going to sick in future. So this is the big issue for us. And we are having the medicine to protect the earth by protecting our climate. So this is the one initiative you can also do by protecting the small area, to control the pollution in the small area in each and every country, by taking the volunteer students volunteers with you, and try to initiate various kind of project to support the environment. Okay, now moving towards the various kind of uh, what happened due to the climate change. The season has been changing, the crops are not properly doing, incomes are lost by the farmers, availability of the water has been reduced, financial losses are there, so many transportation issues has been generated due to the changing in the seasons. Apart from the changing in the season, there are dry. Okay, so dry land has been generated. No rain has been come. The people are migrating from one place to another place. So these are the some big issue. Maybe each and every country will face in future also due to the change in the climate. Right now, countries are in the good situation. They can handle the each and every situation. But after 5 years, after 10 years, a situation may be out of control. And at that time, a person can realize that I have to protect that environment 5 years before. So this idea should become right now. Okay, we should wait for the temperature. We have to maintain the temperature. We even where we are using our air conditioning system, we have to try to set our air conditioner at the adequate level, at the equilibrium level, not too high and not too much lower, so it can generate the least amount of carbon dioxide. So it can, a small initiative can also help to protect the environment. Okay, so these are some hazards has been generated, like the floods has been there, sea level rise has been there, then extreme wind and storms has been generated from the climate change. So these are some big issue which are generated with the changing in the environment. Okay, a climate change is very simple, it's very serious and it's solvable. We have to check each and every parameter, what are the things need to be done correct by our side, and what are the things need to be correct from the other side. So by doing the vice versa work, or by doing the collaborative work with the government also, with the NGOs also, we can solve the issue of the climate change. Okay, a small change in each and every big change is extremes. Okay, so here you can see there will be extreme cold, extreme heat will be there, change in the average is there. So our environment is going to change from the low temperature to high temperature. So this is the climate change happen seriously right now. Okay, in the century of the 2000, we are facing this issue. And in the upcoming year, it will be a task, biggest task for us to maintain the temperature of the earth. Okay, this is the image of the Bear Glacier in 2012 and 2019. So you can identify ice has been melted maximum amount. It will convert it into the water, and this water goes to the sea. This will be generating the flood and the rise in the sea level, and that can be effect for the various kind of villagers are there. So this is the biggest issue. Now, emission of CO2. The vehicles are generating the pollution by using the petrol, diesel, and kerosene and everything. So they are generating the carbon dioxide, which will be most dangerous enemy of our climate. carbon dioxide is the most dangerous enemy of our climate. So we try to reduce that CO2 emission. Okay, so what we can do? We can take the various action to stop the climate change, reduce the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and we can deal with the various kind of impacts and reduce the effect of the livelihoods and ecosystem. So it is our moral responsibility to save our environment. Consider the earth is our home, and we have to try to protect our home. So this is the end of from my side. You can have any question you can ask, and I will try to give some advice that students are very much innovative. So you have to motivate the students from the early stage to go with the environment of the to protect the environment. So they are having the from the childhood stage, they will be very much eager to protect the environment. And this is the moral responsibility of each and every teacher also. Thank you so much, IIU.
Thank you. Thank you, respected Dr. Harshit. Great presentation,
Yes.
especially for you are coming from the engineering department. You are involved in science, and we see the real way how to protect our climate. The ideas, like I said, from idea to realization. And yes, motivating the students, that is the most important part of this today. That is our mission. We need to do, and all the solutions you give, I'm really happy that you can share. You are sharing that with your students and making a great for your country, for India. So wonderful.
Yes.
Really,
My
really.
students are, yes, my students are doing the various project. They are trying to collect the various kind of waste of the flower. Okay. And they are preparing the sand stick from this. They are collecting the waste from the coconuts. And from that waste of the coconut, they are preparing the various kinds of bowls, glass, and everything.
Yes, yes. Dr. Harshit, why don't we see you? I see you on your screen, but you're not visible. Please, can you open your camera so that our
Yeah,
watchers?
I will open my
Yes,
camera.
great. Yes, because
Yes.
listen,
Actually,
our great watchers, they want to see you. Who is that
yes.
Dr. Harshit with this great solutions and ideas? Bravo.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you. Yes,
Nara.
it was a very good
Please,
and
once
simple.
again, I want to see you on the screen.
Yes, I am there. Visible?
Talk to be visible.
Yes.
Now, great.
Now, our next speaker is Mr. Pashuram Mangal. Did I say it truly, my pronunciation? Yes, are you ready? Can you hear me?
Sir Pashuram Mangal from India. Please join us. We seek, unmute yourself and start your speech. Okay, let's move. He don't hear us. Yes, he's here. Dr. Kalpana. Dr. Kalpana.
Yes. Dr. Kalpana.
Dr. Kalpana, please unmute yourself. I don't know what is happening in India. Professor Dr. Suraya Bano. Something, I see there are problems.
Maybe.
They are here.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, Professor Dr. Suraya Bano, welcome. Welcome, our great Professor Doctor with a great experience, with a big knowledge. enlighten us today here on the second ICC 2022 Conference on Climate Changes. Welcome.
Yes, very good evening. This is Professor Dr. Surya Banu from Vilayanagar, Chhattisgarh. I am assistant professor in computer science since 30 years. And today my topic is climate change impacts. 1 minute. Just a minute, system is hang down.
Okay, no problem, Dr. Suraya. We are waiting you. So in the meantime, I hope that.
Yes. 1 minute. Actually, it is open. Yes. Climate change impacts. As Antonio Guterres, United Secretary General, said, to have a chance of avoiding global warming's most strenuous impacts, the world must cut greenhouse gas pollution nearly in half by 2030 and erase its carbon footprint entirely by mid-century. The United Nations is the only forum in which an agreement aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emission beyond 2012 can realistically be broad among the 190 plus countries with different outlooks and economics, but of a common atmosphere. Save Earth today to survive tomorrow. Global warming is warning us to stop warming the earth, keep forest green and ocean blue to reduce the effect of global warming. Our earth is burning. If it burns completely, never come back. As our Prime Minister, His Excellency Narendra Modi ji said, climate change is a pressing global challenge. It calls for a collective human action and a comprehensive response. In India, faith and nature have had a deep link since ancient times. Connecting with nature means connect with ourselves. If we do so, we nurture a better planet. And he also said we have to go zero defect and zero effect. Zero defect in production with no adverse effect on environment. Women can adapt to climate change by reducing their vulnerability to its impact. Actions such as moving to higher ground to avoid rising sea levels, planting new crops that will thrive under new climate conditions, or using new building technologies represent adaptation strategies. The way communities are adapting to climate change are prepared for longer, more intense fire season, rise to challenge to sea level risk, ensure disaster and public health plans account for more severe weather, protect farms and the food supply from climate impacts, protect air quality, prioritize climate justice, prepare for managed retreat. The role of cutting carbon pollution, even as communities attempt to adapt to climate change, many are also working to reduce the amount of heat trapping carbon pollution they create in the first place. The latter approach is known as mitigation. As Kofi Annan, former Secretary General of United Nations, said, the world is reaching the tipping point beyond which climate change may become irreversible. If this happens, we risk denying present and future generation the right to a healthy and sustainable planet. The whole of humanity stand to lose. Climate change affects life around the globe. It impacts plants, animals with consequences for the survival of the species and also in human beings. Climate change creates water and food insecurity, increased mobility and pollution movements. It is important to stop climate change for reducing short-lived climate pollutants can have immediate economic benefits for job creation and increased household income, as well as lasting ancillary benefits from improved public health, reduced poverty and inequality, and lessen climate change impacts. As David Suzuki, Canadian academic and environmental broadcaster said, pollution and climate change by exercise burning of fossil fuels are real threats, not the people who warn that we must take these threats seriously. Now I focus on the impacts of climate change that will affect us all. Damage to our home, more expensive home insurance, outdoor work could become unbearable, higher electric bills and more blackouts, rising taxes, more allergies and other health risks. Food will be more expensive and variety may suffer, water quality and suffer, increased heat, drought and insect outbreaks, all linked to climate change have increased wildfires. Declining water supplies, reduce agriculture yields, health impact in cities due to heat and flooding, and erosion in coastal areas are additional concern. Declining water supplies, reduce agriculture yields. In the words of Barack Obama, President of United States of America, no challenge poses a greater threat to future generation than climate change. And he also said, there is one issue what will define the control of this century more dramatically than any other. And that is the urgent threat of a changing climate. Then how can we stop climate change? It is very important. Make our voice heard by those in power, eat less meat and dairy products to reduce our environmental impact on the planet. Higher fiber, plant-based diet is also better for our health. Eat fewer or small proteins of meat, especially red meat, which is the largest environmental impact, and reduce dairy products. Reduce our energy use and bills. Respect and protect green spaces. Invest in our money responsibly. Cut consumption and waste. Keep fossil fuel in the ground. Invest in renewable energy. Switch to sustainable transport. Improve farming. Restore nature to absorb more carbon. Protect forests. The rising sea levels, shrinking mountain glaciers, ice melting at a faster rate than usual in Greenland, Antarctica, and Arctic, changes in flower and plant blooming times. These are the examples of climate changes. What happens if we stop climate change? To illustrate the risk of insufficient scientific communication, if all greenhouse gas emissions were to be completely stopped, the public would expect immediate rapid declines in global warming. As Bill Gates said, climate change is a terrible problem and it absolutely needs to be solved. It deserves to be huge priority. Now I conclude, climate change is important since it helps determine future climate expectation. Through the use of latitude, one can determine the likelihood of snow and hail reaching the surface. We can also be able to identify the thermal energy from sun that is accessible to a region. Climatic conditions have to shape various ecosystems and habits around the globe. A particular climate can be a boon to one species and devastation to another. As the climate changes, species and ecosystem respond by adapting, migrating, or reducing their pollution. As Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General United Nations, former said, we are the first generation to be able to end poverty and the last generation that can take steps to avoid the worst impact of climate change, and the future generation will judge us harshly if we fail to upload our moral and historical responsibilities. And at last, I want to say the golden word of President of France, we have a single mission to protect and hand on the planet to the next generation. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving us such a beautiful opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, great Dr. Professor Suraya Bano. Be sure that your past generations and future generations will never forget you. Who can forget you? Because you are really amazing. How many solutions, and not only here on this field of the climate change, you are doing every day. You are giving your great for this society, for humanitarian, for the education. Our professor, Dr. Suraya Bano, deserves a big, big, big clap.
Thank you. Thank you.
But now, after Professor Dr. Suraya Bano, we are having another great, eminent keynote speaker. She is also well known. You know, she is a research supervisor. She's coming from India and she's very, very close also to my heart. I adore this great professors. So she is our great Dr. Kalpana.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you, Professor Nara, for such a wonderful introduction. And I really feel proud to be one of the speakers of this wonderful climate conference.
You are proud, and we are most proud than you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I want to say that the climate is not a recent issue. It is existing since 1915 and before that also. But we are now very much concerned about the climate issue because we have feeling so many problems there regarding climate. So I would like to say that if we are really move ahead with a sustainable society, that we must check the pollution, we must have to do impact and application and adaptation and mitigation for the climate. So climate issue is a very old and outdated, but there are very much advanced areas and technology in climate issues itself, because we all know that what is pollution and what is the acid rain, what is global warming, all that's a very primary and middle school level concept. So we have learning since our childhood, and we are also aware through our media. But now, being an expert, I would like to highlight my paper on the impact of climate on human health and business. So this thing I would like to highlight before you all, and I welcome you all wonderful delegates. So Professor Nada, can I have permission to share my screen, please?
Of course, yes, you can. You can share.
Yes, I will do that.
See a beautiful smile of our great Dr. Kalpana. She's
my screen is
smiling.
visible to you?
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you. So this is the first message of my today's presentation. Climate change damage our mental health. Because I am focusing on climate change impact on human health and business. And welcome you all in ICCC 2022 IIU. What is climate change? Actually, this is the second day of the conference, so you must have aware about the fact. Some effects of climate change are that rising sea level, economic losses, rising temperature, more and worse drought, more heat-related illness, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke itself, and more animal extinction. Many more species of animals are now being extinct because of this climate change. And more and worse, forest fires. California is the one of the biggest example of forest fires. Then more and worse storm. India is facing so many storm conditions in recent decades. So these are the impact and effect of climate change. Then what are the consequences of climate change? They are heat waves, extreme weather patterns, longer growing sessions, higher average temperature, water storage, food storage shortage, water shortage, food shortage, and other risks. What are the direct health impacts of the climate change? They are sudden death, injuries, mental disease, and different types of allergies. The indirect health impacts are vector disease, chronic disease, and non-specific syndrome. Now, this is the climate change impact on human health. This is a whole diagram of climate change and their impact on human health. Status ozone depletion, diverse pathway, desertification and land degradation, and agroecosystem productivity. Then what is the impact on human health? Declining several ecosystem services and biodiversity loss. So human health are impacted very much because of decline of freshwater, deforestation, and population displacement. How does climate change affect human health? This is the major question of my presentation today. Environmental degradation impacts human health because it forces mitigation, civil conflict, mental health effects, loss of jobs and income. Then extreme heat, heat-related illness and death, and cardiovascular failure also. Then severe weather. This is also very much important cause and impact. It creates injury, fantasy, loss of homes, and mental health impact. Degraded living condition. What it can impact? Exacerbation of existing social and health and inadequate vulnerability also. Water and food supply impact. That is caused malnutrition, diarrhea, etc. Air pollution and increasing allergens. They are asthma, cardiovascular disease, respiratory allergies, and water quality impact also creates cholera and other waterborne diseases itself. This is the psychological impact of climate change. This is the term climate change anxiety. How we can define it? It is a chronic fear of environmental catalysm that comes from observing the seemingly irrevocable impact of climate change and the associated concern for one's future and that of next generation. So the climate change conditions also cause anxiety, fear among the human beings. And climate change and related disaster cause anxiety-related responses like chronic and severe mental health disorder also. You can't believe how it can be occurred. Flooding and prolonged drought have been associated with elevated level of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. That is also very much severe condition. So we have to check the climate change condition. The impact of extreme weather events on human health, what it is. trigger most traumatic stress disorder, that is called PTSD, and major depressive disorder, that is called MDD. That's are related with the anxiety, high order of anxiety. And then rise to financial and relationship stress also, because they are migrated, they can display, they have conflicting situations due to lose of their financial sources, their economy, and their earning of the family. So there are financial and relationship stress, increased risk of violence and aggression, displacement of among entire community, and the overreaching threat of a changing climate also inside. What it is? Hopelessness. This is the public health action on climate change. Forecasting, modeling, and vulnerability assessment. Then surveillance, training of the teachers, training of the experts, training of the corporate leaders, and training of the normal citizen also. Outbreak investigation. Then research on different aspects of climate change and climate communication. We must be introduced many types of campaigns. We must organize conferences, program, activities, workshops, seminars, so that we can communicate about the conference, about the climate also. Health sector mitigation. We have to focus on our health sector. How can we cure the health affecting by the climate change? And decision support. We have to take support from policymakers, bureaucrats, and government also. Then preparedness. We have to prepare for future dangerous situations due to climate change. The third part of my presentation is the impact on business. Let me start with the green business. What is green business? The green business definition describes a company that does not make any negative impact on the environment, economy, or community. This type of business are forward thinking when it comes to human rights, environmental concerns, and related issues. What are the characteristics of green business? They have forward thinking. They adopt mitigation and practices of climate check and climate conditions. They are lowering their energy consumption and improving their efficiency. They are eliminating waste and using sustainable materials. And they are adhering to environmental laws, regulations, and best practices. That is why they will be certified as green business. And they purchasing green equipment, products, and services. So these are the characteristics of green business. Then how can we get the green business certification? Many organizations offer this green business certification. And for taking steps to prevent pollution and reduce waste, safety managing hazard materials and chemicals, providing consumer and employee education programs about sustainability, conserving natural resources, complying with environmental laws, going green in all the aspects of the business. So if you are following all that conditions, you must get a green business certificate. Climate change constitutes impacting business. Definitely. How climate change impact the business? Value chain risk. What are the value chain risks? Physical risk, price risk, product risk. Then rating risk, regulation risk, and reputation also. If you are not following the climate now, nowadays, people are aware, consumers are aware, they will not come to your business and going to purchase your product. So this is the loss and impact. Example of some green business, like Whirlpool introduced CFC-free refrigerators, and other companies are in our house also. We are using LED bulbs, CNG used in vehicles, jute bag used by various companies, and energy efficient products introduced by various organizations like 5-star rating electrical equipment. What is the possible solution? I am highlighting the problem, I am highlighting the impact. So what can we do to solve all these issues? We have to preserve existing forests and encourage reforestation. Then we have to develop alternate energy sources. We have to slow our population growth. Then we have to encourage environmental treaties and law. And we have to more efficient energy use customers. Possible solution number 2, what we can do, we can adopt, we can mitigate, we can adopt geoengineering, and we can have knowledge-based expansion. So we can do all these things like plan for input, build resiliency, and improve response capacity, mitigate, we can reduce emissions, geoengineering, introduce additional global share to counteract emissions, and knowledge-based expansion, scientific assessment, technology development, observation, and research also. Green tech example having mitigate climate change. How? How green tech support? Vertical farming, carbon capture, green building, electric vehicles, algal biofuel, fuel, waste electricity generator, and plastic roads. This is the one of the example of vertical farming. Mumbai airport and Mumbai city is adopting so much this vertical farming. Solution to reduce climate change effect. Take immediate action, operating cost and drive efficiency, leadership on climate, ambitious climate action, and foster innovation. This is climate action plan for the business. Prepare for climate impact, lead with equity, reduce carbon pollution, create clean energy future, plant 1 million trees by 2020 and beyond, and work with the community. This is the target. Calculating the carbon footprint of your business, collect data from each of your relevant emission releasing activity, then electricity use, natural gas use, and water supply use. This is how can a business be more sustainable. Reducing waste is a simple and effective start, and other include setting up sustainable sources, working towards environmental certification, making use of energy saving technology, being smart with eco-friendly packaging, and aiming for zero waste. More tips. You have to be used biodegradable material, recycled material, reusable materials. Then climate action plan for overall. This is, we have to 6 focus areas: energy, transportation, building, natural environment, and waste. Community engagement also. That is also very important. Building resilience. This is the steps of resilience. And this is, thank you, the new age of climate action plan. Thank you, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir. Thank you, Roshni madam. Thank you, Corina madam. All the wonderful delegates. And thank you so much, Professor Nada, for inviting me and giving us such a wonderful introduction. Thank you, each and everyone. Thank you very much.
You see,
you.
you are privileged. You see, we gave you a lot of time to speak because I didn't want to interrupt you. You were talking about the human health. You were talking
Yes,
about
the
the
first
impact.
time.
Yes, you are talking about the impact on the business. So, our great Dr. Kalpana, I know she cannot say us nothing for a short time. So great, 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 great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Dear Nubahet, please, our next eminent speaker is
Is Ibrahim Ahmed. Yes, from Morocco.
yes, welcome, sir.
Welcome,
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim. Can you hear us?
He's here whole time, and we already call him.
But yes,
Ibrahim, please. Unmute yourself. I see you. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm here. Sorry. My name is Ibrahim Ahmed. I'm the student of Teacher Azdin from Morocco.
Welcome.
Thank you. So the title of my presentation is Climate Change and Education on Sustainable Development Goals. My outline is first, the definition and the objectives of sustainable development goals. And we will talk also about the importance of sustainable development goals number 4, which is a framework for action to improve education and save the planet. And also we will talk about sustainable development goal number 4 in my school. There are 17 sustainable development goals, and the goal number 13 is climate change. And we can protect our planet from this problem and the phenomenon with the goal number 4, which is quality education. First, the definition and the objectives of sustainable development goals. Sustainable development can be defined as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And the objective of 17 goals of sustainable development is to protect the environment and to improve the quality of life of the people. Number 2 is the second of sustainable development goal number 4, which is quality education. Sustainable development goal number 4 aims at nursing inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. This goal ensures that all girls and boys complete free primary and secondary school by 2030. In Morocco, the strategic view 2030 aims to afford vocational training to eliminate gender and wealth disparities and achieve equal access to a quality higher education. Sustainable development goal number 4 has the power to guarantee and achieve all of the other goals, and namely climate change. Sustainable development goal number 4, a framework for action to improve education quality. There are 7 outcome targets. Number 1, quality primary and secondary education for all. Number 2, early childhood and primary education. And number 3, equal access to higher education. Number 4, relevant skills for work. Number 5, gender equality and equal access for all. Number 6, youth and adult literacy. Number 7, global citizenship education for sustainability. And also there are 3 means of implementation. Number 1, safe and inclusive learning environments. Number 2, scholarships for higher education. And number 3, teachers training and working conditions. Also, sustainable development goal number 4 in my school. Our school strives to implement the guidelines and policies of the Strategic Review 2030. We work together with our teachers and the administration staff to push our schoolmates in the heart of the goals of sustainable development. In this context, we have devised and organized many projects individually and in groups. For example, planting trees and flowers, watering plants, drawing students' attention to the importance of the environment, raising students' awareness to climate issues. So thank you for your attention, and nice to meet you.
So Nada,
Yes, thank you. Thank you, dear Ibrahim. Bad network, very low network, but I hope I hear you. I
Dr.
understand.
Nada, can I have a word, please?
Yes, Professor Azadin, yes.
This is the presentation of my student Ibrahim Ahmed, and it taps on the link between the urge to change the climate towards better conditions and SDG number 4, education. The link is that the hope to change the climate change lies at school. We should change the mindset of our students, future generations, so as to guarantee and ensure this change that all of us are concerned about concerning the climate. And thank you very much, Dr. Nada, and all other speakers.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Professor Azadin. You have an amazing student. You need to be proud on your great Ibrahim. A big, big, big clap for your student, for your great work, for his work, for your wonderful country, Morocco, because I know our great Professor Azadin is working on the global level. He is also a very active member of co-training Sweden. So he is doing a lot on this field, on the preventing the climate changes, the giving solutions. So thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Ibrahim.
Thank you, Dr. Nada. Thank you.
Ibrahim, thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
And for your support, yeah.
Yes, we did a little not good here, but you speak great, so you need to get great words, very insightful, very brilliant, impressive. I adore great students. So that is always in my heart when I hear, and this conference, what is the aim of this conference? To hear the voice of our youth student. Yes, IIU youth, IIU voice of the students. Thank you very much. My great.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Yes, thank you. It is a good. Now it is turn for it's Arlando Alaputra from Indonesia. Yes.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, please. Can you open your camera, please?
I'm sorry. I have a problem with my camera. I think I cannot show it now, but I'm just gonna go straight with my presentation. Is it okay?
Okay. Okay, if you can. Not okay. No issue.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, how to prevent it? It is another.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Great. Can we see your first try? Okay, bravo. Yes, it is great.
Ozone depletion.
Okay, so greetings. I'm Orlando. I'm from Indonesia. In this, I will explain about global warming and ozone depletion. First, I will explain First, the cause of the depletion of ozone layer. Second, effects of ozone depletion to global temperature. And third, how do we prevent it? The cause. There are so much things that cause damage to our ozone layer, but I will only include 5 of them. 1. CFCs that found in air fresheners and air conditioners. 2. The volume of vehicles on Earth. This will produce a lot of carbon monoxide, so it will be very harmful. 3. Excessive deforestation. 4. Factory smoke is very influential in destroying the ozone layer. And 5. Excessive use of pesticides. What is the effects of this? Depletion of the ozone layer will increase the radiation of ultraviolet rays from the sun to the earth. This causes various direct impacts on human health, such as cancer, plants, and animals. The depletion of the ozone layer also causes an increase in the Earth's temperature, global warming, which triggers the melting of polar ice caps, rising sea levels, uncertain weather and climate, and increasing natural disasters. All of them have continued impacts in various fields ranging from health, economy, social, to defense and security. And the last one, how do we prevent this? We could prevent this by 1. Reducing the use of private vehicles. This will also reduce carbon monoxide that they are really harmful to the environment. 2. We could reduce the use of chlorofluorocarbons, CFC or freon. This will keep the greenhouse effect stable on Earth and not too excessive. And the last one, we don't use cleaning products that are harmful to the environment, such as hairspray that contains some gas that harmful to the ozone. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for showing us how to prevent it. Your solutions, your amazing work, great work. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Nebahat, do you have something to say?
When I was a high school student in 1987, the ozone layer started to deplete, and we were all talking about it. The ozone layer, there is a hole in the ozone layer, but we couldn't dream or we couldn't talk or foresee about our future. We were just talking with our school mates or classmates. That was all, but day by day, years after years, now we can face how it affected our future. Yes, unfortunately, yes. Now, I think our Hiranur. Yes, are you here?
Yes, hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
May I share my
She's
screen?
from Indonesia.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
So nice to see a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Did I pronounce your
beautiful.
name truly, Hiranur? Is
No,
it
it's actually pronounced with Hairaninur.
have the same name.
Hairani Noor.
Hairani Nur, yes.
We need
yes.
to practice. We need to practice these languages.
Hairani Nur, yes. Very good, yes. I know the meaning of it.
Please, we are waiting to hear your great speech. IIU is proud on you.
Let me share my screen.
Yes, you can.
Can you see it now?
Not yet. Kairano Noor. Can you, okay, let's see now. It comes, yes. Okay.
Yes. I think I have to turn off my camera because my device is lagging.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes, yes. No problem. I think it's coming, not yet, but I hope very soon.
Yes. All right. Maybe I just go with like this. Yes.
Okay. Okay, you go like this. No problem.
Good evening, everybody from my country, Indonesia. My name is Hairani Nur, and I will deliver about noise pollution and what its relation with climate change. So, pollutants has reached us through the air we breathe, the water we drink, and now the sound that we hear. Now, everybody, do you know what's the difference between sound and noise? For me, sound is a vibrations that travel through the air or another medium and can be heard when they reach a person's or animal's ear. Meanwhile, noise is happening when there's sound that are produced is unwanted and loud. And now what is the difference between the two? So noise in a simple term is called unwanted sound. Anything that is uncomfortable to hear or causes unpleasant sensation is noise. So now we came to the noise pollution. Noise pollution is a regular exposure to a higher sound level that impacts humans and other living organisms. And sadly, sound pollution is not getting much concern from many people because there is no significant impact that for us until now. We cannot see it right in front of our eyes what its impact is. But it is, in fact, having many disadvantages. But before I want to mention those, I have to deliver it. Where did all those noises could come from? The first one, external sources. Industrial sources. It could came from the industrial that use a big machine or heavy machine that capable to produce loud noises. And B, traffic jam. It's a common thing to be happening in a big city when the growth of number of personal vehicle such as motorcycle and cars. How could traffic jam could cause deep noise pollution? People will hoot their horns for an attempt to alert the driver. But in fact, not only for the driver, it can also disturbing the other neighborhood or even also for the passerby. And the other is other vehicle for transportation. I will mention it about airplanes. Most airplanes are located in airports that are near residential areas. So when they are taking off or even landing, they will produce a high sound level that will disturbing for the neighborhood. And even in marine life, sources of ocean noise pollution, including every from the ship noise. And after the external, I will mention about the internal sources also, because we even realized we could also be a distraction for other people, such as having an argument or even listening to a sound, listening to a song with full volume. And then after all of the sources, I will mention about the side effect of noise pollution. Maybe everybody here is questioning what is the relation between this noise pollution with climate change, and I will talk about it. I will talk about it in here. So noise for the ocean, the sea and its animal are not visual creatures like us who rely on sight. The sound and hearing they have is the main thing for them to survive. The marine biota need sound to find their prey, their shelter, or for communicate. And however, The deaths can also occur to them because the overall panic response to the foreign sounds. So a noisy sea is like a land full of fog for humans. And then how could we, and then here's my correlation. So we come from noise pollution that could lead to the destruction of marine population. How could that be happen? Just like how I mentioned, the marine biota could be dead because of the shock response to the foreign noises. And then the deaths could lead to including to marine biota that can hold the carbon, such as sea mammals, also decreasing. That means the carbon that are used to stay in ocean, also it's not going to be held, and it is released to the atmosphere. So the carbon that released to atmosphere is also increasing. Carbon itself is a greenhouse gases that has an ability to make the UV light from the sun stay still on the earth. So if the carbon is increasing, the ability to not reflect the UV light to the earth outer atmosphere is also increasing, and that leads to the global warming, where the temperature in Earth is getting higher. How this could be related with the climate change? For me, when the temperature is getting higher, some evaporation process is happening in excessive amount, and also the condensation and transpiration process. And how's that that's making the onshore weather that happen, and it is affected to a certain of job in my country, like the farmer has to plan a certain plan in a certain weather, but it cannot be happening when those climate change problem is also happening, like the crop failure that Indonesia has been through. And how to fix it? For me, there are two ways to fix it. The first one, managing sea traffic. Like researchers point out that managing sea traffic could be one of the way limiting the impact of noise on marine life. Like they have developed a unique and workable program. Like ships are encouraged to take a different route away from the endangered animal area. And then the last one is planting a lot of trees. Planting a large volume of trees to create a natural sound buffering surrounding, because they are a natural source of sound absorption. I think that's all what I'm going to say. I hope that what I have delivered can help us all to learn. So good evening, everybody.
Please open your camera now, because you are not sharing. We want to see you.
Yes. Thank you, Hayranur. Thank you. Yes, I always I am proud of you and your youth, let's say my students, whenever they try to do something for environment, or whenever they try to take action for climate, I'm always proud of them, because you are our future. Maybe we try our best, but you will save the future for yourself. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes, and especially
जाने के बाद मेरे को याद आया मैंने कैसे मीटर में देखती ना
Yes, and especially when today I see the comments on the Facebook, noise pollution, as our great follower, educator, Mehed said, it is today not a lot talking about this crucial problem. It is a really crucial problem because no great solutions. I think that also from the side of the science need come to more solutions. You make a great work on that topic. Congratulations, amazing. Please, I want you to say a few words more. Okay. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, Hayranur.
Yes, unmute yourself and say something for our students all around the globe and here in IIU. Do you have a message for them?
Can you hear us?
I think that she cannot hear us. She cannot hear us. I see. Okay. No, no, she can't. Okay. Okay. So, what to say? Wow, an amazing and unique event by International Internship University. First and foremost, I would like to thank to our project director, our vice chancellor, Corina Sujdea, on the great project. I want to thank to all our keynote speakers, our amazing students. I want to thank to you, Miss Nebahat Chankrili, Turkey.
Thank you.
For
Yes.
being a master of the conference today for the first time. You make
Yes, it was my first experience, but it is very valuable for me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and trusting me. Thank you.
Thank you. So day 2 of the 5 days event is finished for us. Yes, yesterday was a great day, but today more better day, more solutions, because we are here and we are acting right now. We are protecting our planet. We know that the protecting planet starts always with us, and our planet needs to be more sustainable. As we said, the IIU recognized the global call for solidarity, for science, for solutions, for all. There is a lot we can and we must and we are doing to make out our world a great place for living. But what to say? Thanks to you, Team IIU, for being always so supportive. Here, thank you, dear Ermina, our core board member. Thank you, Dr. Inga, our IIU head. Thank you, dear Della, our human resource director. Thank you, Dr. Snikta. And here I need to say thank you, a big thanks to a person behind the success of today's event, who is continuously guiding us, motivating us, and putting in our the best, our dear founder, Sir Piyush Pandit. Words are not sufficient to express our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you all here on the Facebook for joining us, for watching us, for writing your comments. And today, I say a wonderful second day. See you all tomorrow on the third day, where we will enlighten you with new eminent speakers with new students from all around the globe. Yes, IIU is the change. IIU brings the change. IIU is the revolution. IIU is bringing revolution in education. As we say, in each one moment, we have a big revolution. This great second day of the second International Climate Change Conference. See you all tomorrow. Till tomorrow, stay safe, stay healthy, and bye-bye. Ibrahim,
Bye. Yes.
Ibrahim, thank you once again.
Thank you
Great
for
speakers.
Guru Yuan, thank you. You were
Thank you.
amazing. You were amazing. Our great students. Big clap for them.
Yes.
So, bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.